The north wind howls across a frozen landscape. This was the world of the Vikings. Survival here wasn't about brute strength, but about adapting to the land's harsh rhythms. The Vikings mastered bushcraft, turning the hostile into the helpful. Every day was a test, finding food, staying warm, and above all securing water. With lakes and rivers sealed under ice, even a drink became a challenge. Their solutions reveal a deep understanding of nature and resourcefulness. This is the story of their winter struggle, not of battle, but of ingenuity. We'll uncover the techniques, tools, and mindset that let them thrive where others would fail. It's a tale of fire, ice, and human adaptability. The lessons of the Viking North still echo today, teaching us about resilience and planning. Let's journey into the heart of the Viking winter, where survival was the greatest victory. Picture Scandinavia. 800 AD, endless summer light gives way to the deep, dark grip of winter. The polar night descends, temperatures plunge, and snow buries the land. Rivers and lakes freeze solid, locking away life's most basic need, water. For Viking families, the world outside was both beautiful and perilous. The forests fell silent, animals vanished, and every drop of water had to be earned. Winter was a crucible, forging resilience and resourcefulness. Meticulous planning was essential: food, clothing, and most critically, water. Without a solution to the frozen world, no amount of preparation would be enough. The Vikings' strategies for obtaining water were among their most vital. Their survival depended on clever adaptation, not just endurance. In the north, winter dictated every move, and only the prepared would last until spring. This was the environment that shaped the Viking spirit. Their response to winter's challenge was nothing short of ingenious. Smashing through thick ice with an axe might seem logical, but it's a losing battle. Winter ice is tough, often feet thick, and hacking at it wastes precious energy. The risks are real: broken tools, injury, or even falling through into freezing water. The Vikings knew water was essential for drinking, cooking, and livestock. Brute force was impractical for a daily need. Instead, they conserved energy and minimized risk. Their survival depended on outsmarting nature, not overpowering it. They observed, adapted, and found safer, more reliable methods. The key was to work with the environment, not against it. This shift in thinking was the foundation of their winter survival. Ingenuity, not strength, kept them alive. The Viking hearth was the heart of survival. Melting snow by the fire was the simplest, most efficient way to get water. Children gathered clean snow, packed it into containers, and let the hearth's warmth do the work. Snow melts faster than ice, saving time and fuel. For urgent needs, a vessel could be suspended over the fire, carefully managed to avoid boiling away the water. Vikings also used hot stones, heated in the fire, then dropped into snow-filled pots for rapid melting. This method allowed water production away from the main hearth, even for livestock. Melting snow also purified it, especially if brought to a simmer. The hearth was more than warmth. It was a water plant, a kitchen, and a lifeline. Fire, used wisely, unlocked the frozen world's resources. This simple technology was the key to Viking winter survival. Their mastery of fire and snow turned adversity into advantage. Melting snow required the right containers, and Vikings were resourceful. Soapstone pots, prized for their heat resistance, could sit near the fire without cracking. Wooden buckets and troughs, expertly crafted, held snow for melting or water for livestock. Pottery was used too, though kept away from direct heat. For travel, water skins made from animal hide were lightweight and practical. The choice of vessel depended on need and status, but all were vital links in the survival chain. These containers turned snow into life-giving water, bridging the gap between the frozen world outside and the warmth within. Every vessel was a tool of survival, shaped by necessity and ingenuity. At sea, Vikings faced a new challenge: fresh water on long voyages. Storing enough was impractical, so they turned to the icebergs and sea ice of the North Atlantic. They learned to identify old blue glacial ice, fresh, not salty like new sea ice. Crews risked the cold to harvest chunks with axes and hooks, hauling them aboard to melt in barrels. This practice extended their range, letting them explore further without relying on land. The ability to live off the ice was a game-changer for Norse exploration. It was a perfect example of adapting land-based survival skills to the sea. Their ingenuity at sea matched their resourcefulness on land. The ocean's ice became a floating reservoir, fueling their legendary journeys. The smartest solution to winter water was planning ahead. Vikings chose settlement sites near fast-flowing rivers or springs, sources less likely to freeze. Even in deep winter, moving water stayed accessible, saving labor and reducing risk. Springs, emerging above freezing, were especially prized and often claimed first. This strategic placement was based on generations of accumulated knowledge. Homes were built in harmony with the land, not at its mercy. By embedding water access into their communities, Vikings ensured survival through the harshest months. Foresight and planning were as important as strength. Tools were essential, but the Vikings adapted rather than invented. Axes chipped at thin ice or broke glacial blocks. Precision, not brute force, was key. Spears and pikes doubled as ice chisels, allowing safe, controlled access to water. Iron hooks helped pull ice or provided grip on slippery surfaces. Tool materials, tough iron, flexible ash, were chosen for resilience in the cold. Every tool was multi-purpose, reflecting the Viking mindset of adaptability. Their toolkit was simple, robust, and refined for survival. Ingenuity turned everyday tools into lifelines against the winter. The Vikings' greatest strength was synergy with nature. They didn't fight the environment, they learned its rules and worked within them. Fire melted snow, fast rivers provided water, and glacial ice fueled their journeys. Knowledge was passed down: how to read ice, gather snow, and choose the right stone or wood. Survival was a community effort, rooted in observation and respect for the land. Their approach, adapt, don't dominate, is a timeless lesson. Resilience came from flexibility and understanding, not force. The Vikings endured winter's long night by working with the world, not against it.